Hi, my friend. Welcome to Healing Together. Back in 2019, I finished writing my book, Scarred for Life. I knew at the time that it was a special story. Not many people lived through the burns that I had. In fact, for a long time, I held the record for the worst burns and being a survivor. But as I did book signings and as I talked to people about my books, I began to realize that there were a lot of people out there that had been through a lot of difficult situations, and God had brought them through, and they gave Him the glory for what happened. Many people, it was just their salvation was just such a miracle story that I began to realize that there was more and more stories out there that were just like Scarred for Life. In the process of writing the book, I had tried to share my story with several big names that if I said the names you would recognize them. And of course, many people are they have many people that are always looking to share their story on their program, so there was not a program. During the process, after I got the book done and we did a book signing, people would ask me about other things. What about this in the book? What about that in the book? And so Debbie recommended that I would do a YouTube channel where I would record parts of the book and then maybe talk a little more intimately about what it was like to be in the burn unit, what the nurses were like, what it was like to have some of the procedures done, and so forth. And so I started working on having a YouTube channel. And as it progressed, God took me across one specific scripture, and He moved me to start this channel called Healing Together. Healing Together is a channel that works parallel with two different types of stories. First of all, the story that is the miraculous. Second of all, the story that is encouraging. This channel, I hope to put the two together. Many people come to me and they would talk about things that were going in their lives that were fresh, that was right now, that they were in the midst of it. And I explained the difference between what a scar is and what a wound is. There's a very different difference, and I talk about that in my book. What it was like to treat a wound was a lot different than what it is to live with or to treat scars. So in the process, I put this channel together in my mind. The videos aren't perfect. The stories aren't always perfect. Sometimes I've got things out of order. Sometimes the dogs bark or something creaks or the clock goes off, whatever. But they're going to be stories that will just refresh us. Sometimes we'll laugh. Sometimes we'll cry. Sometimes we'll cry while we're laughing. All of those things will happen. The scripture I want to share with you real quick is Revelation 12:11. It says that they, speaking of us, triumphed over him, speaking of the evil one, by the blood of the Lamb, the sacrifice that Jesus did on the cross for us so that we could have salvation, not only live with him for eternity, but also that we could be healed, that we could have victory, that we could live a overcomer's life. It says, by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. This channel I want to dedicate to the testimonies of the people that are around me. I'm going to share my testimonies, times that God brought me through things, or God responded to me, loved me, and shared with me just how great a God He really is. Stories of other people. Debbie and I, we're going to share times that we saw God move in our lives. We're going to share some of the blessings that we received. We're going to share some of those stories so that people can find hope in the midst of the battle. Second of all, and really exciting for me, is we are going to create a channel where it is possible for you to share your story with the world. Get outside of our little egg that we live in. Statistics say that every person knows 1,000 people. That's really awesome, but when you're in the midst of millions for the world, it is really good to share those stories. Satan don't want us to share those stories. He's going to mess us up and trip us up and limit us, make us depressed when we run across that opportunity, and make it just really difficult for us to share the stories. Well, my friend, Healing Together is about sharing those stories. I already have 2 interviews done. I'm learning how to do the editing. My sons are helping me with the editing, and we are looking forward to the opportunity to share those stories. I have another story that they're waiting on me to interview them and to share the story of how they came out of a cult that and found true, real freedom and love in Jesus Christ, in each other, and in the people around them. I can't wait to share those stories. I'm also going to share stories straight out of the Bible where people were in difficult times. And I think of Jacob, who wrestled with Jesus, wrestled with the angel, and he came away with a blessing. Many times we have to wrestle with those things. So that's what this channel is about. Welcome to it. I'm your host, Tim. I hope and pray that we can walk along beside each other down the journey of life, and we can find hope, and we can find healing, and we can find true happiness and joy as we travel this road together. Thank you so much for coming and stopping by. I hope you subscribe to the channel. I hope you like the different videos with a click of the button, and let's see what God can do as we share Him with the world. Thank you.